everybody, what's going on today? I just wanted to put together a little video that may help some folks get through sand a little bit better. We just raced a sand race in our second series here in Alabama. Well, the race was actually in Meridian, Mississippi, but hopefully it'll help somebody at least get to thinking about what they're doing. Instead of being miserable or what have you out there, we'll talk about a few things: body position, how to get a rhythm, technique on the bike, and hopefully it gives somebody a little bit of an insight on how to hit sand whoops and have a more enjoyable experience. So here we go. All right, so as I'm still in the turn, I stand up so that I can squeeze the bike and get ready to do this rhythm that I try to do through the whoops. And as you can see, that just consists of me tapping the front wheel on the tops of all these peaks. Let's talk about body position. When you stand up, you want to be on the balls of your feet. You want to squeeze the bike snugly with your legs to keep the rear end of the bike in control. You want to bend at the knee and never let your legs be straight, and you want to stay in a neutral to over the rear of the seat position because you don't want to let your weight get forward. Now, you might be asking, how do I start this rhythm in the whoops? Well, if you watch right here, I start on the small ones coming in and just transfer it as the whoops get bigger and bigger all the way until they run out. Right, so as we're coming into this section, the whoops are starting to get bigger and bigger now. We tap, we tap, tap again, and boom, you've got your rhythm. And if you have those smaller whoops leading up to a big section, it's really going to help you determine what speed you need to go as you're getting in there. Obviously, you can't go too slow, but you can't go too fast either and overshoot them. Right, let's talk about technique on the bike. As I'm getting in here, it all kind of starts with a wheelie. And then every time that I tap that front end, I'm going to pull the bars just a little to my chest to make sure that I get that front wheel up to the top of the next peak. You don't want to slam into the face of any of those peaks. And then as I get over the valley, I'm letting the bike go back away from me so that when I land on that next hump, that I've got my weight a little bit farther back and I can really control the rebound of my bike. If I get my weight too far forward, that's not good. That's going to let the rear end go where it wants, not where I want it to go. And it also could potentially result in knife at the front end or going over the bars. Not something we want to do. So the goal here for me is to try to keep my rear wheel on the ground as much as possible. And that way I can use consistent throttle, well, constant throttle, maybe not consistent, but I can always use the throttle in those whoops to drive my bike forward. And you just want to keep that front wheel light and getting up and over those peaks. Because if you don't, what happens is you'll drive into the face of those things, and basically your steering stem becomes a fulcrum. And when the rear of your bike is, coming off the ground, it wants to go faster than the front end when it gets slowed down by you driving into that face. And that's what causes you to start to swap. And that's not a condition that we want in sand whoops. I would like to explain the mistake that I made at the end of this whoop section. These whoops have a rhythm to them. They're long, short, long, short. Essentially, on one of these short ones, I think it's this one coming up, I was going too fast, boosted down the back of that one, and then jumped the next one into that face. And so my front wheel is driving into the up face of that next whoop. And it's like I was talking about. The front slows down and the rear wants to maintain its speed, so it starts going sideways, and that is what gets you swapping in whoops. And then your suspension rebound just keeps it up as you go. So I ended up getting kind of lucky there at the end of that. If you go back and watch it, I swapped like 3 times, and the last time the rear went to the left, and it really just set me up to go right into that right-handed turn. In that case, it worked out, but it still was a little nerve-wracking at full speed. I definitely did not enjoy that. But I hope this video kind of helps explain how to get through whoops a little better to somebody. I hope it helps one person at least. And if it does, then I accomplished my goal. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching. We'll see you later.